Hey everybody, it's John Hope Bryant. I'm live from the ATL. This is my normally scheduled evening, although it is later than expected for my broadcast. So my apologies for my delay tonight, and you'll be able to catch it on replay tomorrow. I see some of you guys signing on. Hey William, Howard, Tatiani, Tayari. And all of folks around the world, thank you guys signing on. Thanks for helping us get over 1 million followers on all social media platforms for the Operation Hope and Civil Rights Movement. 800,000 followers on the Facebook page, 130,000 on LinkedIn, and then you got Instagram and Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. Hey, everybody signing on. So let me get at this. There's a new bias. There's a new discrimination. And I need everybody to be clear, and this is why I wrote the book, The Memo. This is why I wrote How the Poor Can Save Capitalism. This is why I wrote Love Leadership. This is why I founded Operation Hope. This is why we have Hope Inside. This is why we have Hope Inside the workplace now. This is why I created Global Dignity along with 2 co-founders. This is why I've created an entire network of uplift here, mostly in the U.S., North America, and around the world, to battle a new kind of bias, some of which is intentional, most of which doesn't require intentionality at all. You can have the best intentions of the world and still have people fall under this bus, still get affected, get hit right between the eyes with the reality of this world, and get it significantly, if not in some cases permanently damaged. The new bias, the new discrimination, the new racism, if you want to call it that, to be really provocative. Hey, Michelle Bryant, we share a name. The new bias is not race. Now, is John Bryant saying that racism doesn't exist? Racism absolutely exists, okay? Racism is sort of like rain. It's either falling someplace or it's gathering. So you might as well get out an umbrella in the color you like and start strolling through it because it's not going to change, so you must. So let's get out of the way. I'm not saying discrimination does not exist. I'm saying there's a new bias, a new racism. It's something that's replacing racism as the most evil, the most damaging of the things that affect you. This new discrimination, listen now, share this on your page, share this with your friends, start a discussion about this new bias, this new discrimination is class. It's class. Let me give you an example. Now, this is going to weave through all the work that I do. Whether you're white, black, red, brown, or yellow, you want to see some more green, as in the U.S. currency. The new color is not black or white, as in race, it's green. Now, there's a community near where we live in Georgia. It's called Serenbe. Very nice community. Nothing wrong with the community. But the entry-level prices for homes in Serenbe, it's a planned community, about 45 minutes from Atlanta, it's $700,000. So homes are $700,000 to $3-4 million. And beautiful restaurants, farm-to-table food, horse trails, schools, police department, places of worship, yoga shops, hair salons that charge $125 for a haircut. There's nothing wrong with Serenbe. I'm saying the color there is green. Be clear on this, right? So it's not that they don't want you if you happen to be minority. It's not that they don't want you there. They're not getting in the morning saying, I hate whatever, whoever you are, Latinos, African Americans. They're not saying, I hate you. They're saying, we want calm, we want schools at work, we want safe streets, we don't want drama, we're tired of whatever we see. So we're gonna create our own community, and we're gonna price you out of the marketplace. Pay close attention to what I'm saying. There's another community that's being created around Pinewood Movie Studios. Hey, Lamar Ross. And it's also beautiful, okay? And there's nothing wrong with it either, okay? Hey, Rahel. Rahel is genius, right? That's a brilliant African sister. Make sure you follow what she's doing. She writes a lot on my page. Brilliant Ethiopian sister who's doing good work in the world and give me good counsel. Pinewood Studios have a great team at Operation Hope, and just folks around me. Pinewood Studios has a neighborhood. Pinewood Studios is where they do a lot of movies here in Atlanta, Georgia is one of the biggest movie producers in the country. Across the street is a neighborhood called, I think it's called Pinewood. I think it's called Pinewood Homes or Pinewood, okay? Same thing. They're building, a billionaire is building this, okay? And it's, homes and it's restaurants and it's parks. Again, a self-contained community. The home started at about 500,000 and go up to a couple million. Once again, they created their own self-contained world. They've incorporated, and they're just saying no to the drama. Now I'm gonna get more intentional here now, okay? Because that's outside of Atlanta. Now I'm gonna go to downtown Atlanta now, or think about downtown Detroit, or think about. So I was in downtown Detroit, and 2 years ago, somebody said to me recently, "Oh, downtown Detroit, Detroit's not gonna flip. It's already flipped." Okay, it's just a matter of, is it gonna make it to the neighborhoods, all right? I'm in downtown Detroit, I go to a store and I see a t-shirt on sale. Hold on now, downtown Detroit, Michigan, t-shirt on sale for $400. It might've been $500. It was something north of $300. I almost passed out. When a store is selling t-shirts for $300, $400, $500, they're appealing to a different marketplace than the one that you and I grew up in. Okay? Be clear about that. They're appealing to college educated, not high school, college educated people, employed, six-figure income. People who buy $500 t-shirts make six figures. People, again, don't hate on folks, because it's wonderful that folks who may be mainstream, in this one example, feel comfortable hanging around people of color, because unlike their parents or grandparents who may have had bias against people of color, the children, the young people, in this case, Caucasian example, grew up in sports, grew up in the military environment, whatever it was, made them more diverse, made them more open-minded, and they don't mind black people, just to be blunt. So you have a lot of upwardly mobile Caucasians who are young, educated, gainfully employed, who thinks the hood is cool. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Marie. They think the hood, inner cities are cool. Pay close attention. They moved into downtown Detroit. They moved into downtown Atlanta. I keep telling you, these are gold mines. And they're moving in. You put the cities down. Love you back, Stafford. Put the cities down that this is happening. It's flipping. And they're taking over the urban core again. The neighborhoods I've been telling you are gold mines. The urban inner cities, which we are now giving away, right? And we're moving out of these neighborhoods and going and versus owning downtown, owning in our own town. We're renting downtown, and somebody else, a skyscraper, paying folks who don't like you rent that money you don't own on rent you can't afford in a neighborhood that you can't really relate to, in a building that is owned by an investor. Okay, probably some of my friends, and who to impress who about what? I don't know, but the gold mine is in the inner city, where if you are in a hood anywhere in America and you can see downtown skyscrapers and there's jobs downtown, buy it. Buy it, particularly if it's a shack. Buy it, rehab it, and rent it. Buy it, rehab it, and sell it. Buy it, rehab it, and live in it. Or buy it, rehab it, and hold it. Because it's a gold mine. Now, these neighborhoods are going to flip, and the qualified opportunity zones, that I've been talking about on this channel, and I talked about last Friday on Squawk Box on CNBC. Go back and watch my appearance last Friday on Squawk Box with A-Rod was on the show with me. Go and watch what I had to say about qualified opportunity zones, which are going to become like a rocket ship on top of these inner city neighborhoods. Somebody said Jackson, Tennessee, flipping. That's Tiles said Jackson, Tennessee is flipping. Name these cities that are flipping. New Orleans, most of downtown and surrounding areas. That's Lena says that. Mobile, Alabama, when they plant trees along the median, they're coming back. Michelle Bryant, exactly right. Name the cities. Again, we don't get mad. Get even. Success is the greatest revenge. And when you get mad, actually, they've won, because whatever decision you make emotionally, when I say they, I mean those who mean you no good. Whatever decision you make emotionally is going to be the wrong decision. I don't want you to react. I want you to respond. I want you to understand the game that's around you. The game has changed. The game has changed. Being an expert in racism, being able to spot it, doesn't pay one of your bills. Did you hear me? Okay. Being angry for a living is not a business plan. Nobody cares about our drama anymore. We have got to begin to reimagine and revolutionize our thinking. And when you go into McDonald's, as I did a few days ago, my wife's a wellness coach, and I take her counsel, but sometimes I'm running real hard, and sometimes I may, once a month I may end up at a McDonald's, and get a salad or whatever, or some great French fries. Well, I walked into this one McDonald's recently, and they had kiosks. Now, there's still people behind the counter. There were kiosks, okay? That's not a test, ladies and gentlemen. That's a transformation. Okay, you're gonna see a kiosk, you're gonna see 10 employees. Then in 3 years, you're gonna see 5 kiosks, and you're gonna see 5 employees, okay? And then in a couple more years, you're gonna see 20 kiosks and 2 or 3 employees. This is not a test, this is a transformation. The new bias is class. When folks don't want, listen to me now, write this down. When folks don't want to be around drama, crime, maybe they are racist, by the way. I'll add that. Maybe folks are racist on top of that. But I'm not a racist, okay? Well, I discriminate against stupid and dumb people and ignorant folks, and I'm working on it. But I don't want my family around crime, around sliders, trying to slide your car. I want schools that work. I don't want drugs on the corner. So nobody wants this drama. People who don't want this, listen to me now, have chosen this. Hey, Zena Knox, change your mindset before somebody changes their zip code. That's right. Private schools, private roads, private communities, private clubs, private law enforcement, gated communities, private transportation, cars, Uber, all the way up to limousines. Private roads, I've already said that. Private security, I've already said that. Private lives, private islands, private jets. These folks are saying, I don't love you and I don't hate you. I don't really care about your drama. I mean, it's the death knell in the 21st century is not love or hate, is radical indifference. When somebody does not care enough about you to hate you, that's a real problem. The problem in the 21st century, this may be my quote of the day, is not love or hate, it's radical indifference. When somebody does not care enough about you to hate you. And that means the game has changed. The game has shifted from just an issue of racism and bias to an issue of class and poverty. And if somebody wants to get away from you bad enough, they don't conspire. It's just the market at work. One person wants to get away from you, 2 people want to get away from you, 3 people want to get away from you, 4, by the time you get 10 people want to get away from you, not you, your cousin Boo-Boo, okay, my cousin JoJo, whatever, who's doing wrong, or just increasing crime and people are scared, then that 10 people can become a marketplace when they start looking for the same thing, which is a safe neighborhood, schools at work, transportation, whatever, that becomes a community. And then some developer, real estate developer, entrepreneurship developer, going to create a market, going to respond to that marketplace, particularly if these folks are making 6 figures and gainfully employed with disposable income and can pay for the separation. Be very clear about it. These communities are so you're talking about suburban communities and target communities that are morphing to separate you based on economics. So when that whole neighborhood, when it costs you $7 to get a cup of coffee in the coffee shop, when it when you go to a restaurant, you can't pay for anything under $20. They're creating an economic, when you can't buy a house for less than, depends what neighborhood you are, but let's just say, make it easy, $500,000, right? When there are, membership fees, toll road fees. Think about what I'm saying now. When you cannot economically afford to be integrated, that is economic segregation. Not intentional. No one's hating on you. Again, people just saying enough. And by the way, this is not race-based. I see black folks in these same neighborhoods with my white friends and my Asian friends. They picked a class, particularly this is the case on the West Coast. I just came from Silicon Valley and I was at a home with a black and white billionaire married, and the whole party was integrated. But that whole area is gated communities, private schools, private roads, private lives. They don't want drama. No one who's aspirational successful wants drama. So if poor and struggling neighborhoods are drama-filled, we have two choices. We can transform the neighborhood and work together and lift everybody up. That's what I'm trying to do with Operation Hope and Hope Inside and Hope Inside the Workplace and financial literacy for all and resiliency and getting your credit score up so you can compete. Helping with qualified opportunity zones, helping with reform of Community Reinvestment Act, which banks are subject to, helping to provide financial literacy in these neighborhoods so that it's not what you don't so that it's not what you don't know that's killing you, but you think you know. To lift these communities up and to strengthen them, because nothing changes your life more than God or love than moving your credit score 120 points. So that's one route. Or if we don't transform these neighborhoods, we die as fools together, and then we get dispersed and dispensed, and you get pushed out somewhere else to be poor and struggling, where they don't care where you went. So in Europe, they didn't want poor people in centrally located real estate, which were inner cities. So an inner city in France is called Paris. Think about this. Only in America do we put poor people and struggling people in inner city neighborhoods, which are centrally located real estate. Because 60 years ago, they wanted to move those folks. Folks wanted to move to the suburbs, get away from us or whoever they did uncomfortable with. But now traffic, increasing population, right? And traffic flow, people don't want to drive 2 hours to get home. They don't. So they want to move. Their children and grandchildren don't have a problem with black and brown people, as I said earlier, and they're moving to the hood, the hood, DA-HOD, the hood, where they can be 10 minutes from work, and they're opening bicycle shops, restaurants. Can I get an amen? Come on now. Bicycle shops, restaurants, cafes, buying homes, flipping them, fixing them up, selling them, buying another one, and they are populating, creating charter schools in these neighborhoods. Can I get an amen? You agree with that? We have got to create 700 credit score neighborhoods. We've got to get our credit score up. We've got to get our financial resiliency up, our financial literacy up, our self-esteem and confidence up. We have to start stabilizing our communities, our families. We've got to stop hating on each other and spending all of our time talking about racism, and bias and police brutality. All these things exist, but you only have 24 hours in a day, folks. You can't fight every battle that comes your way. You got to spend some of that energy on something positive. Because while you're focusing on what you're against, somebody else is focusing on what they're for. When you're focusing on surviving, the world's hooked on thriving. And you've got to be part of the thriving piece in order to help us, the surviving piece. The best way to solve world poverty is to start by not being poor yourself. When the plane is going down, that's right, Washington, D.C., Mark, has been flipped. I did a video on that last week. Go back and watch it. The flight attendant will tell you, when the plane is going down, put an oxygen mask on your face first and then your child, because if you can't save you, you cannot save them. Charity starts at home. Go see Operation Hope. All of our services are free. We have 150 offices that are either open or scheduled to be open all across this country, doing credit counseling, financial coaching, home ownership counseling, small business counseling, entrepreneurship counseling, consumer credit counseling, 700 credit score counseling. We're just all about your job preparation. We got some magical stuff coming. We're going to do some training for nonprofits, help you either start or grow your nonprofit. Self-reliance. Get that credit score up to a point where you're not arguing with your mate. You got optionality in your life. You have choices. The costs go down. Your opportunities go up. And now you have the opportunity to go and join this new class called green. It's not the Republican Party. It's not red. It's not the Democratic Party. It's not blue. It's the Get It Done Party. It's green. It's not black. It's not white. It's not red. It's not blue. The new color is green. If you're in the United States of America, the color is green. Depending on which country you are, whatever the color of your currency is, then this answer is for you too. There's a new game in town. There's a new bias. It's a new way that people separate themselves from your drama and my drama and people we love, and it's called class and separation. Don't get mad. Don't get angry. Get even. I'm out. This is a civil rights movement. I'm John Hope Bryant, founder. I'm an entrepreneur, founder of a group of companies, founder most notably of Operation Hope, which is the largest financial inclusion nonprofit in America, an on-purpose nonprofit organization, $3 billion invested in underserved neighborhoods, raising credit scores 120 points in 24 months, $3 billion, I've already mentioned that, 4 million plus clients, and killing it. We're just killing it. Just won a grant for $1.2 million from the federal government to go in, the EDA to go in to help folks in Puerto Rico, and a $1 million grant from the billionaire Henry Kravis was just donated to us, KKR's founder, just because he supports what we're doing. And there's a lot of exciting stuff coming down the pike. We're at UPS, Delta Airlines, AT&T, and others on the workplace side. We're coming at this. We're going to become the Starbucks of financial inclusion. I also founded some private companies, including the Promise Homes Company, which has nothing to do with my philanthropic work. But my point is, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a builder, and I want to build you too. I want you to build yourself. I want you to step into your greatness. And I don't want you to spend all your time angry, upset, and frustrated about things you cannot change. I cannot get in your heart and change how you feel about me. But I can get in my heart and change how I feel about you. I'm out. I love you. Share this with friends. Put it on your page. Let's start a conversation. Share. Let this go viral.